And welcome everybody to the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians. Tonight I am substituting for our president, Linda. And a little bit later on, we've got our district governor who's going to be our speaker. But now we've just got open time to sit and chat for a little bit. So, John, you can go back to talking about your bears, your teddy bears for Sleepy.
I've forgotten where. I took one of those bears to India with me in November, and Nancy, Barbie, and Colleen confiscated him from me. They bear napped him. So they have him. And then when I went up to Toronto, I had a bear strapped onto the back. And somehow on the way back, he jumped ship. So he's somewhere between here and Toronto. So I figured, why just keep replacing them one by one? I'll get all these. I'll send one to John Nanny. That's not my bear. If everybody knows who John Nanny is, he's the one that rides around in a motorized wheelchair. And on the back, his sign said, "This is what polio looks like 68 years after not getting vaccinated."
Wow.
And you'll see him at all the, well, he was at Toronto. I think he was at Toronto.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And he's just a good guy.
Well, John, when you go to order more, I'd like to share in the shipping cost with you and order more on top of that.
Well, I have these 6 now. One's going to be my motorcycle buddy. The others, do you want one? Or do you need many?
I'm down to the one, so I need to get some more, but let's share in the cost of the shipping.
Okay.
So
seems reasonable. Well, we're going to also talk about a shelter box.
Or disaster aid box.
Disaster aid versus shelter box, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I only know the shelter box.
I'm a big fan of disaster aid for a couple of reasons. And one is you get more in the box for less money. It's about $200 less. And disaster aid does not give any money to the Rotary Foundation under their own name. Disaster aid gives $40 for every box that's bought to the Rotary Foundation, which is one of the reasons RI promotes them so heavily.
You mean shelter box?
Shelter box, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have bought one shelter box several years, well, more than that. It went directly into Haiti when that issue went on. What was that, 10, 8, 9 years? Like that?
2010.
Oh, it's been 12, 13.
That was 2010.
12 years, yeah.
It was 2010, yeah.
Wow.
And at that time, normally a shelter box, you buy a shelter box, it sits on a shelf, and then when that particular box is released, they send you notice of where it went. Haiti was such a bad problem, they allowed people to pay right now for stuff right away. I have a chat.
We all do, from Rory.
Oh, okay. I just tend to not watch that stuff, so
I just let you know that my machine keeps freezing up every now and then. So if I drop out, I'll be back. I just got to get reconnected.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate it.
Chris, was disaster box at Toronto?
Yeah, they were right next to my booth.
I must have walked right past them or thought they were shelter box.
Yeah, they look a lot like shelter box. Basically the same thing, just $200 a box less expensive.
And you said they get more into it?
They do. They get more material in.
Because whenever I see a shelter box, it's pretty well jam-packed.
Yeah.
You're talking $800?
$800 for a disaster aid box versus $1,000 for a shelter box.
And
I also know the guy that runs disaster aid. He's out of District 7620 in the DC area.
And that's a Rotary thing, right, Chris? It's yeah.
It's U.S. based, right?
Yes, it's U.S. based, but they also have locations throughout the world.
Yeah, Shelter Box is originally Great Britain based.
Yep.
But they have places all throughout the world too. So.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the two big advantages.
Going to say just a quick trivia on those shelter boxes. You ever watch the movie San Andreas? Right at the end of it, you'll see the city thing. There's one of our tents up there.
Yep.
So it sounds like the two big draws are they're less expensive and you get more for your money.
Those are the two biggies.
Cool. I hadn't heard of them before. This is good.
Yeah, just go if you go search disaster aid, you'll see all about it.
It's called Disaster Aid.
Disaster aid. Yeah, they're headquartered out of the D.C. area. Bob Grill, who is a past district governor, is the one who's running it.
Are they right in?
I'm on the Disaster Aid USA website right now.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, sounds
And John, they're out of Hyattsville, Maryland,
Okay.
which is basically D.C.
Yeah, I know. That's not that far from me.
Nope, very, very close.
Oh, they just had some stuff up at the zone meeting I was at too. They just had it set up there
Yeah.
up in where's it just at? Erie, Pennsylvania. Very cool. Oh, and they got different options. It's actually $750.
Well, then they've lowered the price since I last bought one. That's good.
Doesn't look like it includes sleeping bags though. Looking at the contents compared to there's 12 sleeping bags in the shelter box, I believe.
First thing I pulled up was Disaster Aid Australia.
There's a U.S. site.
Yeah, I think I'm there now.
But guys, just FYI, my daughter-in-law is in labor, so my first grandchild is on its way.
All right.
Congratulations.
That's
Hey,
fantastic.
Mike, how we doing there in your end, Mike?
I'm Mike for right now.
Well, you know what, folks? I think we'll switch over. I will tell you, let me look real quickly here. Who's the 1-843-297-6691 phone number?
That's me, Terry Moore.
Oh, thanks, Terry. Glad to have you on board. All right. And Jane, the list I sent you, there is only one of those persons on here right now.
Okay.
Harold, okay? Uh-oh, Harold.
Uh-oh, Harold, you did it now.
So we may be doing just the one, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you, normally in a Rotary Club setting, for those of you that haven't been in one for a while, we'd all be standing and giving an ovation to this lady, and I will tell you she's actually very deserving of it. We'll just give her a round of applause first, okay? This is Jane McManus. Jane is the current governor of our district. I've given her some background about our club and such. And for those of you that are new to Rotary, our district governors around the world generally visit each club while they're governor one time during the year. And they bring forth a message both from the governor themselves and the district, as well as that from the Rotary International president. This is our meeting with Jane tonight, and I'm very proud of Jane in our district. In fact, when she was selected a couple years ago, I agreed to be her vice governor. So I'm very happy to be doing that for her. With that, it is my honor to introduce to you Jane McManus. Jane.
Hi, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay. You said that the list you gave me, there was one person on here or on the call.
Yeah.
And who was that again?
Harold Hill.
Harold Hill. Okay.
He's waving at you right now, Jane.
Oh, okay.
The ball-headed guy.
Oh, Harold. Oh, okay. But it's a Carol.
I'll give you a secret about Harold, Jane.
Be careful.
He's a convert from Kiwanis.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he's not a total convert. He's still in.
Let me find. Okay. And you're from South Carolina, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, Jerry, do you want me to do the message first or the induction?
It's up to you, sir. Or ma'am.
Sir.
He's had a long day.
Yeah. Okay.
Have another drink, Jerry.
Do you think the others that you had on the list might join in shortly?
It's possible, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm looking to see. All right, I'm looking to see if the assistant governor, there's my assistant governor logged in yet.
That'd be Sam.
Sam, are you on the phone? No. Okay. All right, well, I think I will, let's do the induction first, okay? All right. I might see a paper here. We've been switching desks around because the equipment is not cooperating tonight. Okay. I have the honor and privilege of inducting a new member into the Rotary Club of the Motorcycling Rotarians. So I would like Harold, raise your hand. Repeat after me. No, I'm just kidding.
Very good. That's not a good start.
Okay. Harold Hill, you have been chosen to membership in the Rotary Club of the Motorcycling Rotarians because you manifest those qualities of head and heart needed to serve Rotary and impart the message of Rotary to those with whom you come in contact. I charge you to judge yourself by the Rotary four-way test in the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I wish to impress upon you that you are being admitted not only to the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians, but also to a worldwide association of individuals dedicated to the Rotary motto of service above self. By virtue of your membership in this club, you will be welcomed into the fellowship of any Rotary club in the world. The honor and privilege of Rotary membership carries with it duties and obligations. You will be expected to attend club meetings regularly, actively participate in club service, and offer your knowledge, talent, and energy to the club in its efforts to serve our community. I now ask all Rotarians and guests to please rise. You can all just raise your hands. Harold Hill, on behalf of the members of this club, I formally admit you to membership in the Rotary Club of the Motorcycling Rotarians. Fellow Rotarians, I commend you to you, the newest member, Harold Hill, and charge all of you to welcome him, to engage him in your projects, fun, and fellowship. Let's give a warm welcome to our newest member. Congratulations.
Can I go ride my motorcycle now?
You have to what?
Can I go ride my motorcycle now?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, you've been waiting so long, huh?
You are not excused, Harold.
Harold,
Wow.
Harold, Linda sent you a packet, I believe. I don't know if she gave you instructions about opening that packet or not. Do you have it yet?
Yes.
Did she tell you not to open it, or did she have you open it?
Not to open it until today.
Why don't you open that packet and for a minute here share what's in the packet for you?
Okay, well, one of the things is my most coveted pin.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Very nice there, so I can proudly display that. And then I have a card with Rotary Begins Together, brings together leaders who step forward to take some of the toughest challenges in their community. And it goes on and on and on, which goes hand in hand with what the good governor has passed along to me. And I have this folder, very thick folder, I might add, all sorts of goodies to include a certificate of membership.
It's official.
And Jerry's going to send me a frame, a nice frame to put that in.
It's going to be one like that auction house in England with, you know, a shredder on it.
And let's see, I have a booklet, Rotary Basics. I'm sure all of you have seen this. If you haven't, I'll be willing to share whatever I have. And then I have an annual report of Rotary International, of the Rotary Foundation.
Very nice.
So very well put together. Thank you very much. I am indeed honored, and just hope to live up to the all the principles and everybody else following y'all's footsteps. Thank you.
Bravo. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Madam Governor, I think you left off an important part of the oath, which is at the next gathering, he has to buy beer.
Oh, all right. Well, that might be, you know.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
Oh, that's the footnote down here. I forgot that.
Well, since we're getting ready to have another, it's going to be a tropical storm. Right now, the poor folks in Florida are getting hammered by that Category 4. It's probably diminished now. By the time it gets into our area, it's going to be a tropical storm. But this thing is actually going all the way to almost England. And that's very rarely seen. So it's going to be a very significant storm. I'm just glad it hasn't arrived here yet, because we'll probably be one of those who loses power. So for the time being, we're good.
England or New England?
England.
Wow.
Just below Ireland.
Yeah, it's going to keep going.
It's going to go that far. Yeah.
Well, with that, let's give the floor back to our governor.
Okay. Let me adjust the volume just a little bit. Hold on. I got to get my technical assistant here.
And again, congratulations, Harold. We're really proud of you to be a new Rotarian for
Absolutely.
helping us charter the club, and also just I've enjoyed
Want to
getting to know you piece by piece.
press something. Yeah.
Awesome group.
Yes, welcome aboard.
The certificate is something that Linda came up with. It's a real nice certificate, and I think we're going to see about getting that certificate for everybody, so we can probably display that about our club.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, typically when I do a club visit in person, I'm going to have to kind of improvise, because I don't know how well you're going to see some of this stuff unless I hold it up in front of the camera.
Do you have it on a computer that you could share?
It'll be easy to just put it up right now.
It's just, yeah, easy for me. I have a photograph and some stuff, so I guess we'll have to see how that works. Okay.
Let me interject something, everybody. In the upper corner of your spot, there's a speaker view. And if you click on speaker view, it'll enlarge who's talking at the time. And so that gives you a bigger screen on for looking at Jane and what she shows us.
Okay. Do I need to do anything, Jerry?
You don't need to do anything. You're just
good. All right. Well, I'll see you guys. Okay. I thought that, well, I would like to introduce, but he is not on this call. He might have got tied up, but I will let you know who your assistant governor is, and that would be Sam Abahamden. He's a member of the Troy Rotary Club. He's been assistant governor, this is his second year, and he joined the Troy Club in Michigan in 2012. And I don't remember the year he was president, but he's a great guy. I've worked with him with some other clubs, and he's also the same, he's also got the new Southfield area club, and he's been working with them. So I thought this would be a good match. So I'm going to make sure that I bring him up to date on this call and encourage him to attend some of the other meetings that you have so you can get to know him a little bit. Let's see here. Well, I think that I'll start off with, I usually ask clubs at the board meeting, we're going to do it a little bit later, but what is unique about your club? And I can say right off the bat, this is the most uniquest club probably in the district because we're not all in the same place. So that it's, I'm honored and it's a privilege to be part of the district that Jerry has put this club together. And I know we're going to have, someday I hope, I'm not going to come on a motorcycle probably, but someday I hope that we can meet in person somewhere in the world.
I appreciate the thing there, the shout out there, Jane, but there's a lot of people that have done that and made this work for this club, and including each and every person that's sitting here on.
Okay. Well, you're all, you've all leaped into leadership, as Barry Rasson says, so I'll explain that in a minute. Going back to January of this year, all the district governor-elects are invited or required to attend training, and this year it was in San Diego, and it's been that place for a few years, where you get to meet 535 district governor-elects around the world. And it's quite an experience. Like, it's a once in a lifetime experience. It's very hard to describe. I know Jerry's been to it, so I'm sure he has fond memories of when he was sitting there as district governor-elect, thinking when you are announced in the chain, you think you got a long time before you're actually stepping up, but it's that meeting that you actually realize this is going to happen. And at about that point, that's when things really start to get moving on a fast track. When we were at Assembly, International Assembly, Mike and I would meet people different, when we had lunch, we'd sit at different tables to meet different people. And I sat next to this one gentleman who, on his name tag, he had South Africa. And I said, it's on my to-do list to do a photo shoot in a game preserve over in Africa, and I was wondering if you might have some suggestions. And he was telling me about one, the elephant rescue preserve that's there. It's about 15 minutes, 30 minutes from his home. And then he said, and then a little farther down the road is another really nice game preserve that I think you might enjoy. And I said, well, thank you. I'll go look those up. And then when I make my plans, I'll, have something to start with. He reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a business card and says, call me before you're planning on coming. So you make sure that I'm in the country because I do a lot of traveling. And I will personally take you to those places. So you just never know where a conversation is going to end or where it's going to go. But I now have a friend in South Africa that's going to help me realize a thing that I've wanted to do for a long time. So that's the power of Rotary. Rotary has a new vision statement, and I will, can you see this or see something like this?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I can email this out to you so you each have a copy. But it's 24 words. I really think that it embodies Rotary's focus, where we're going, and where we need to be in the future. And it goes like this. Together, we see a world where people unite, take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. There's also a quote by Paul Harris at the bottom of that paper, and it says, if Rotary is to realize its proper destiny, it must be evolutionary at all times and revolutionary on occasion. We unite because teams are stronger than individuals. And we take action because Rotarians are doers. They don't sit around and wait for somebody else to get things started. They just get the ball rolling. And we work to create lasting change so that the Rotary legacy will last another 100 years in our communities and across the globe. And maybe the most important of those 24 words is, as we work to build a better world, we create the change in ourselves. Barry Rassin, our current international president, Rotary president, says Rotarians have a longing to make a change in the world, to do something bigger than themselves, be part of something that really impacts and changes the world. And that's what led Barry to his theme for the year. Every international president has a theme for their year while they're in office. And his theme is Be the Inspiration. And if I will send all of you a Be the Inspiration pin if you email me or somebody emails me some addresses so that I can drop it in the mail so that you can have the theme pin for this year. Huh?
I'll make sure it happens.
Okay. It's a little hard to get that pin into the CD player and ship it out. I'm just saying. Somebody said to me, why did you step up to district governor? I said, I guess I missed that meeting. I don't know how that happened, which is not true, but it's usually the response you get when someone says, I'm not sure I got on that committee. Well, that was the meeting you missed. To be honest with you, there have been a couple of Rotarians that have been an inspiration to me. And one of those was a member of the Birmingham Rotary Club. And I will put this up there. Can you see that picture?
Oh, yeah.
That's George Hedgesbeth and me in Sydney, Australia, in the House of Friendship in 2014. He was to be our governor in July 2014 to June 2015. And I had a chance to get to know him by going to the conferences, district conference, and always sought him out because he was a big man, but he was a real gentle giant. And so I was looking forward to having a year with him as his assistant governor. George took office as governor July 1, 2014. And on July 3rd, 2014, he passed away. He was a great man. We lost a great leader. And I knew that George had a dream. He wanted to see a new Southfield Rotary Club. The club had dwindled down to 1 or 3 people. They weren't holding meetings. They weren't doing anything of impact in the community. And when George passed away, I thought, there goes George's dream. How are we going to do this? Mike's father was a charter member of that Southfield Club, and I'll show you a picture of that. I found it when we were cleaning out his house after he passed away. And I thought, well, it's a nice thought, but I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know anybody in that community. I don't know the business culture. I just don't know about what's happening in Southfield. So this picture right here sits on my desk, unless when I'm traveling, I take George with me. And I kept looking at it. I go, Mike wrote on the top of the the picture. Please continue what I've started. And I kept looking at that and I go, George, I really can't. I don't think I'm qualified enough. And then I would look at it and then I would turn it down and look at it. Finally, I looked at it and I said, okay, George, you got to help me. I'll see what I can do. Sometimes in life, things happen. There's little breadcrumbs that are being dropped and you don't even realize where they're going or what's going to happen or why they're even there until a result happens. There was a man, and I'll show you, he was on the front of the Rotarian magazine, and that's John Barfield. This is August 2015. He was a Ypsilanti Rotarian in Michigan, and the Ann Arbor North Club had him as a speaker. And I thought, oh, that would be nice to see John Barfield, but I'm too busy. I got a pack to go to the International Convention in Seoul, Korea, and I just put it down. A couple of days later, I thought about it, picked it up, and I thought, he started out as a janitor in University of Michigan, and he built a company, millions and millions of dollars. In fact, he sold that company, and now it's in the billion-dollar area of sales. I thought, he probably commands a pretty good audience when he speaks. He did write a book called Starting from Scratch, which is an excellent book about his life, and his father was a sharecropper, and that's the background. So, at the last minute, I said to Mike, oh, let's go. We can at least have lunch, get to see John and see what he has to say. Well, John was mentoring a young man, and this young man is involved with the Dale Carnegie company. And they were doing a lot about leadership and equipping young leaders and had some projects. So John was kind of mentoring this gentleman, and that young man's name is Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh usually would go with John when he did speaking tours, but he wasn't going to go that day either. At the last minute, he decided to come. And that's where I met Brandon Marsh, because Mike got in a conversation with him and asked him about himself and was he involved in Rotary? And he said, oh yeah, John Barfield said, get involved in Rotary. It's a great experience. You're going to meet a lot of great people. And he said, I am a member of the downtown club, but I don't get to the meetings very often. And he said, I work in Southfield. I sure wish there was a Rotary Club in Southfield. Ding, ding. Mike comes running over and says, you got to talk to this guy. So I said, okay, Brandon, let's have coffee. The whole conversation, I can tell you, started at the Panera Bread on Telegraph and 12 Mile Road in Southfield, where we started to talk about what would a Southfield Rotary Club look like. And I can show you the booth too. I remember it. It's imprinted in my brain. So I said to Brandon, I said, in all fairness to you, I know it's going to take some energy to get this going. I'm here to get you the resources. So I pulled in some of the other district people like Jim Gilmore, who's started a lot of clubs, started a couple in Ann Arbor. I said, I'm going to put you in touch with them. Keep me in the loop. So he did. And they had their charter night last September. John Barfield was present. It was at that moment that I realized George Hedgesmith's dream had come true. I'm honored that I had a very small part in that process, and they are a very excited a lot of energy, and I don't know if this picture is going to show very well, but on this side is the original Southfield Club. Mike's dad is the little shorter gentleman in the back. And the interesting thing about this picture is when I was in Richmond doing a club visit, somebody identified another member of the original club because he was his photography mentor. Only in Rotary does that stuff happen. Now, on this side over here is a few of the members of the new club at a fundraising event put on by the Livingston Sunrise Club, and it's an island theme, so that's why we're all dressed up kind of crazy with sunglasses and looks like we just stepped off the beach. So I wanted to share that photograph with you. The other person that had an inspiration to me was our current president, Barry Rassin. About a year ago, I was in a zone meeting in Chicago, I believe, and we have breakout sessions and training, and at the end of the day, there's always a fellowship, and they had a hospitality room, so Mike and I went up, and I see this gentleman walking towards me, and I thought, well, he looks vaguely familiar. I wonder who he is. As he got closer, I realized he's the incoming Rotary International president. Needless to say, I was a little bit tongue-tied, not sure how I should address him. And Barry Rassin said to me, just call me Barry. I'm just a regular guy. We're all in the same, we're all Rotarians. We're all in the same club. I just have a few other responsibilities than you. So we had a chat for about 10 minutes about leadership. And his focus is leadership and equipping people to step up to leadership positions. So he has this little saying. He said, we're going to leap into leadership. The L, he says, stands for love your family, be kind, be caring. The E is for energy, enthusiasm, excitement. Be excited about Rotary and the things that we have the leverage with the worldwide network of Rotarians and locally. The A is for audacity. He said, set a challenge that might be a little bit bigger than you think you can accomplish, but it'll make you stretch, and it won't be great when it happens. And P is for proof. We need to lead by example. We can't expect someone to do something we have never done or unwilling to do. So I want to applaud all of you for leaping into leadership this year. And Linda, she's not on here yet, but I thank her for stepping up and being president this year. We have two goals for this Rotary year 2018-19. One is strengthening teams. We want to increase the communication and the connection from club to club, club to district, and even district to our neighboring districts. We are working and have refreshed and we're now calling it the bulletin. Monthly, we put out a bulletin that has a message from myself and the things that are going on in the district. And we've condensed it so that there's a little paragraph and you can click to read more if that particular item interests you, rather than paging through 43 pages of PDF kind of format. We also have an email that we're using for events and anything that's stories, and that's media@rd6380.org, and that's where our information and things come to put together that bulletin. So please share with what you're doing in your projects, fundraisers, fellowship, whatever's going on, so that we can let the rest of the district know. Some of them are very intrigued with a Zoom call online Rotary Club. This is a new experience for a lot of them. And so I want to make sure you guys get your fair share of the recognition too. I am going to send to Linda a couple of things since she's the president. One is the Rotary citation, and that is a really nice pamphlet that has requirements to meet the Rotary citation for the Interact, the Rotaract clubs, and the Rotary clubs. And so when you follow through in some of the things that I've read, the projects, you probably have some things checked off already. The whole focus of this is to build stronger clubs. We're doing this, and it just helps us do the things we need to do to have a great impact in the community and to strengthen our Rotary image. What did I do with that other thing? Okay. And then I will also email some of the stuff I can email. Some I might have to put in the mail. I was thinking of a fun way to help clubs get interconnected. We used to do what we call makeups a while ago, and that seems to have kind of fallen by the wayside. So I thought, how can we make it fun? Because I'm all about fun. So I came up with this little booklet. It's called the Rotary 6380 Passport Incentive Program. When you go to a foreign country, you have to have a passport to get in there. So I thought, when you go to another club, or you do a fundraiser with someone, or a service project, just have somebody sign your book. And then we're going to have a contest, and there'll be some awards given out at our district conference in May of 2019. It has the vision statement on the back, and the 4-way test is in here, and Rotary clubs work together to promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, save mothers and children, support education, and grow local economies. And those are our areas of focus. So I will send some of those if you get a mailing address. I'll see if I can email it, but maybe not. I might have to just mail it to you if you're interested in having a Rotary journey. And some of you are traveling around, and you probably have places that I don't even know about that you could be involved in some Rotary projects. My second goal is to equip leaders so that they step up to some leadership opportunities in the clubs and also at the district. We could use some more talent at the district, lots of opportunities. We're trading our, and I haven't talked to Jerry about specifics in training, but this year we're starting to do some training that's more facilitative instead of lecture, so that we're joining leaders, exchanging ideas, and then some action comes out of that. So we had a One Rotary Summit here September. We had a great turnout, and a lot of things got shared, and what other clubs are doing, and so I think we're headed in the right direction. There's also a focus now on, used to be what is Rotary, but now they're changing it to why Rotary. Why did you join Rotary? Why do you stay in Rotary? Why do you continue to do the things you do? So, and I will also email you, I think I can do this because I have this in a PDF, a save the date cards for events that are coming up in the district, president-elect training, Our youth program, we have some, in April, some dates for the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. Schools send some of their Interact students or kids, young adults that have some leadership potential. The counselors recommend them, and it's been a great program. A lot of great things have come out of that, and is equipping those folks with some leadership skills. The next Rotary International Convention is going to be in Hamburg, Germany. And this September, that was the Rotarian magazine. I don't know how many of you are getting the paper copy. I know you can get digital, but we're going to capture the moment. So if anybody speaks German, I do need some help so I don't get in trouble when I'm over in Germany, okay? So Hamburg is the largest seaport in Germany, so I think we're going to have lots of fun there. Barry's invited us to come along and join him there, so the more the merrier. I hope to see a few of you there. The other thing our district governor is responsible for is to have a district conference. And we're going to have one in Detroit. It's actually out of our district, but it's not that far from where I live. And we're going to stay at the Crown Plaza in downtown Detroit, which is right along the river. So Canada's right across, and the state's Detroit. So we are an international district. We have 7 clubs in Chatham, Kent. And one of the reasons I picked that was a year ago in August, we celebrated 30 years of women in Rotary, and we did it on the Detroit Princess. It's a boat that goes up and down the Detroit River, goes around Belle Isle, goes along Canada, under the Ambassador Bridge. Had a wonderful evening. The food is fabulous, and the sunset was magnificent that night. So people said to me, I really enjoyed that. When are we going to do it again? Or they said, I missed it. I'm really sorry. Are you ever going to do it again? So we're going to do that again on May 3rd, which is a Friday night. We're going to cruise rolling down the river, in the Detroit River, on the Detroit Princess. And the district conference is only going to be 2 days, Friday the 3rd and Saturday the 4th. We're going to do a service project. And one of the speakers I'm looking at is someone that has expertise in succession planning of leadership and helping leaders to let go and empower the next group of leaders that are coming up. And I think this is exactly where Rotary needs to be, is to give the next group of leaders the opportunity to lead. So how can we be the inspiration? So what's your why? Why do you continue to give to, say, the foundation or Polio Plus? Why did you join Rotary, and why do you stay in Rotary? Why do you serve on committees, and why do you do service projects? That answer should be your inspiration. That's what you need to tell people when they see a Rotary pin and they say, what's that? What is Rotary? You say, let me tell you why Rotary. Whatever it is that excites you, just let them know that. There's only one thing I'm asking clubs when I do a club visit to do, and I'm asking them to get their ASK in gear and ask people, what does service look like to them? What's their passion? If they had an opportunity to do something that would be impactful, what would it be? What others see as obstacles, we Rotarians see as opportunities. Always thinking, what more can we do to create a better world? So I know that we can be the inspiration if we work together as a team. Typically at this point, I give a theme pin to the president and we exchange a banner. So I will send a banner to Linda. I don't know. Let's see. Here's some. Now this logo right here, it's a wave with a sunset. And Barry Rasson and Esther designed this because Barry told a little story. He said, he's from the Bahamas. He said, when I stand on my island looking over a body of water, I envision someone else on the other side standing, looking over the same ocean. Boundaries are in our mind, he said, and oceans do not keep us apart. They are connectors. So that's where he came up with the logo with the wave, and Esther put the sunrise in the background. So I think it's one of the most beautiful pins that they came up with. I'm just kind of partial because I like beaches and water. So I want to thank you for all you've done for Rotary, all you're going to do, and for the honor to serve your district governor 2018-19. And I know together we can and we will inspire the world to create some lasting change. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you very much. We've got a couple minutes before I have to shut the recording off. We'll max that out. So,
okay.
Any questions anybody has of Jane?
Just a big thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to be on this call and have you be part of your club.
Well,
her message is on the screen.
Beg your pardon, John?
I'm inviting her to check her messages. I sent her a message or two. I really like that passport idea. Do you happen to have that on a PDF or anything that you can send?
Yeah, let me see. Basically, it's on a piece of paper which I could scan, and then we just cut pages to staple in it, so you had something to write on. Let me talk to my daughter. Actually designed it. Let me talk to her and see if we can get a PDF out to you.
Great.
Jane, I just emailed you the mailing addresses for everybody in the club.
Okay.
And you'll have that. And then the email address, I'm sure that's something Mike can help you with through the district site.
Okay.
Ours are all active and up to date, so.
All right.
Probably the best one of the district right now.
Okay, so on the district club runner, those are all accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Addresses, mailing?
We run our club completely by that, so between that and Zoom, so they have to stay accurate, so.
All right.
What's the district number?
6380.
Yeah, 6380.
Are you going to be joining zones 24/32 soon?
Yeah, that's going to happen
2020.
2020. They're going to have a zone meeting next September, I believe, and it's going to be in Niagara Falls, where they're going to start kind of merging us, getting to know some of the folks in the zone that we're going to be merging with.
John, is your district going to the Canada district too?
Pardon me?
No, are you asking me, Jerry?
Yeah.
We're already in it. I was just up in Toronto a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Basically, all of Michigan, across Canada, there's talk of some city in Russia going to be part of the zone, and then I think New York over in that area.
Eastern Russia from Vladivostok to the Urals used to be in our zone.
Oh, did it? Okay.
They couldn't have it. They didn't have enough clubs to justify it.
Right.
That poor governor had something like 5 time zones.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not complaining about the 2 hours to Chatham after I know that some people are driving 12 hours to get to a club.
One of their past governors of that district back then is a personal friend, and she had to travel I think it was 2 days by train and then a half day by car to get to the one club visit.
Yeah, I can
Besides
believe.
the airplane flight to get over there in the first place.
I talked to somebody in Africa that had 10 countries. They spoke at least 10 different languages, and he was a lot lighter than some of the folks there. So he said, I've got to have a few interesting meetings.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 o'clock now, and I'm not going to cut off our governor, but I am going to end the recording, and we'll have a couple more minutes for questions.